Facebook and YouTube as well. And welcome to everybody watching the replay of this. So yesterday I came on and did a chat. It was a very intense rant about being kind to one another and trusting in yourself. And so I never got to tell my access story. And it's kind of a funny story, actually. It's kind of a cute story. It's not quite as, dark as Dane's, although Dane's is beautiful and inspiring. I love Dane's story. So how did I find the tools of access consciousness? So when I was, I've always been kind of weird. I mean, in case you didn't notice. And I think I was born like looking for something different and looking for something else to be possible. And when I was 12, this story starts young because I found access when I was 19. So when I was 12, my aunt and uncle gave me $20 to go buy anything in the mall. And I bought a set of tarot cards and they were beautiful. I still have them. I've actually just asked my mom to ship them to me because I want to play with them. And so I had these tarot cards and I basically used them, and I was like wanting to like get in touch with the magic of the universe. I mean, who doesn't want to get in touch with the magic of the universe? So I was fascinated with the magic of the universe and doing everything that I could to try to get more in tune with that because I knew it was out there. I knew it was possible. And then my mom started to take me to something called Body Talk when I was 12. And it was this modality that you like did like a tapping, and it created these amazing effects in your body and helped my mom. It really helped my mom with her like postpartum depression and like just her depression, and really, created more ease and change for her. So at 13, I saved my money and I went to a Body Talk class, and it was like little 13-year-old me with like, 50-year-olds. And I was the little one. And I was just so excited to learn and to get to know more. And then I, found Eckhart Tolle, and I found Deepak Chopra, and I read that stuff a lot. I was like really interested in it, and I like would put dinosaur wrapping paper over top of my books so that like I was reading like The Power of Your Subconscious Mind in like the 7th grade, and I was like, I think people are gonna think I'm a weirdo. So I always knew that if I was going to be on this journey and I was going to be seeking, it was definitely going to be a just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone kind of deal. Oh, Rebecca's on here. Hi, Rebecca. And Josephine's here, and Ariadna. That's pretty. So welcome, guys. So anyway, I always knew that my life was going to be just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone, because I knew from a young age that this was just not something that you had as a conversation on the playground. And what would it take to change that? And what if we could actually have a different world where that became possible? Okay, so let's fast forward. So I was, 17, 18, and I was like, what am I going to do? I was like, I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I'm good at this. But what am I the best at? And I was like, I'm the best at this whole like universe stuff. And at that time I was like, I want to be enlightened, because you hear in Buddhism about these monks and you hear about people being enlightened. And I was like, I want to be enlightened. And so I was searching and I was reading and I was like, how do I become enlightened? How do I go beyond the confines of human reality? It was like, I had fun and I partied and I did all that stuff too. But the inside of me was like, how do I, work with the universe, and how do I become more of me? So 17, 18, I was like, I didn't know if I was going to go to university to do acting or if I was going to go for sociology. And I went with sociology because I figured, I mean, I knew there was no metaphysical studies, which is what I thought I'd wanted to do at the time. I'm glad that I didn't go with metaphysics because it actually created, like, there's a lot of judgment in metaphysics, and there's a lot of judgment in everything, sociology too. But I really had fun studying sociology because it showed me the underpinnings of everything, and it showed me um, how the world worked, how the media worked, how, how people worked, and like why people chose things that they chose. And it was fascinating. It was a wonderful degree and I loved studying it. And so in my second year of that degree, I'm 19 years old and I'm doing quantitative research analysis in the library in the upstairs of the university. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't fun. This isn't getting me in touch with the universe. This is quantitative research analysis. And I would sit and I would study at night in my apartment, and I would look at the mirror and I would look in the window at myself and I'd be like, self, like, what else is possible? What else is possible? So so actually I'll rewind a bit. So I worked at the golf course the summer before I discovered Access, and I was just groping and looking for anything that would give me more sense of the universe. And so I was rereading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I'd read it when I was, 12 or whatever, and so I read it again when I was 18. And one of the things that my mom taught me as a little kid, that if you guys have kids, this is a great thing to teach your kids, is you know everything. So my mom read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind and then gave it to me. And I said, I want to read that too. And she said, okay. And she said, Julia, the thing that I learned from this book is that you know everything and that there's absolutely nothing that you don't know. And you may not have accessed it. You may not be aware of it, but you know absolutely everything in the entire universe, every lifetime, every dimension, every universe, every time frame, everything. You know it. You just have to access it. So from like 11 or 12, I'm like, okay, I know everything. I just have to access it. And that really, really helped me stay lighter. And sometimes I'm apprehensive in telling this story because it's not a dark story. And I know, like, well, we can move on to the suicidal part of me, but that came later. But it's like, that's not really part of me finding Access. It was like more this other drive that like I just needed to know how to be enlightened and how to be happy and how to teach other people that. And so it was growing up, I was always like, I want to be a sex therapist or a magician or a motivational speaker. And so I got to be all both with Access, which was really cool. But so I was at 18, I was reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind again, or I don't know if I fully finished it when I was in grade 7. Anyways, so I was reading it again, and you're supposed to like do like say things that you'd like to have. So I was working on the golf course running the beverage cart. And I'm going around the beverage cart. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. I love reading your comments. I'm running around on the beverage cart and I'm like yelling out to the trees on the golf course, magic, magic, magic. Because that was the only thing that I knew how to do. I didn't know about asking questions. I didn't know about anything. I didn't know Access yet. But from The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, I was like taking what I knew and I'm like, magic, magic, possibility, peace, love, magic, magic. And the word that I used the most was magic. And so I'm like broadcasting out to the universe, I need more magic. I need to have this. And that was the thing that tipped me over and allowed me, I know that that's what created me finding Access. So I'm 19, I'm sitting in the university, and I am going, what am I doing? Doing quantitative research methods. And so what did I do? So my mom sent me this radio show of a facilitator of Access. And this woman was so engaging when she spoke. And she said, everything that's true will make you feel lighter. A lie will make you feel heavier. If you ask questions about what the possibilities are, that can be contributed to your world. And you are psychic. Like you can pick up if there's somebody three um three people away from you on the line and you're going, I want to have a ham sandwich, you're aware of them wanting to have a ham sandwich. So that was fascinating. So I was like, oh my God. It was tools. Everything else was information, but this was tools. And I was hooked. So I started using it instantly. My sister was really into it with me too at the time, and she emailed Dane, and oh, he was such an inspiration. And it wasn't Dane who emailed back; it was Katarina, his assistant, and now she's like his worldwide coordinator. And she sent back a video of him doing his ESB sessions. And so my sister and I are crowded around the desktop computer like, oh my God, like that person on the table is flopping around like a fish. And we couldn't believe what we saw. We were so excited to see this kind of magic. And so, oh, it was just so exciting. I get so excited just thinking about it because it was just a time of so much possibility for me. And I just knew what future was coming. And I know that along the way, you know, you can lose that enthusiasm, but it's like ask for that enthusiasm to be a part of your world. You know, it's like when we take access and we drag it into human reality, we lose our enthusiasm. But when we use the tools and we don't need to do human reality, we like have total enthusiasm. So anyways, so I listened to this radio show and I called my mom, and then like a few days later we were talking about it in my family, and I called my dad and I was like, Dad, this is the best thing ever. And he's like, okay, so then it's mediocre. And I was like, you jerk. It's not mediocre because I tend to exaggerate. I was even worse back then, or better, depending on how you want to look at it. And so I called my dad and he said, so it's mediocre. And I was like, huh. And so now I can stick it to my dad and I can say, Dad, it is the best thing ever. But I was just so grateful. And so anyways, so I, read the first book I read. My sister and I each ordered our own copy of Being You Changing the World because we knew that we couldn't wait for the other one to read it. So we each got our own copy. It came in the mail to my apartment in the city where my sister was staying with me at the time because she was wanting some more adventure. She graduated high school early. So we were hanging out in the city. We're reading the book, and it just changed everything. We were so excited and so filled with the possibilities. And then I became a bars facilitator the next year and a certified facilitator that same year. And it's like, I was so young. I mean, people are like, I can't do it because of this. I can't do it because of this. Nobody's going to listen to me. And I'm like, who listened to the 20-year-old that I was when I first started actually facilitating people? It's like, but they did. But they weren't listening to me. I was empowering people and I was asking them questions. And that's really the purpose of the Tools of Access Consciousness, is to ask questions and to ask people what they know. And I did that. And the times when I didn't do that and I told people, it didn't work so well. But when I asked people and I empowered them, it created such amazing things. And so I'm like 20 years old facilitating the foundation to like decent sized groups, like 5 people, 3 people, 7 people, 9 people, and I'm doing it. And I'm going to classes with Gary and Dane all over the world, and I went all the way to Australia to be a certified facilitator. And people are going, Julia, you're a nut job. Why are you going to Australia for like 11 days? You're supposed to go to Australia for at least a month because of the time change. And it's like, I was just like, I'm doing it. And the one thing that Gary Douglas has always said is, Julia, nobody has ever been able to stop you from doing a single thing you wanted to do. Not ever. And that is really the truth of the matter. I don't let people stop me, and I don't let people tell me that I can't do something. And that's something I was just born with. And each of you have that in you, and you have that ability to do things without, letting people's judgments get in the way of that, And there are places where I pretend that people can stop me. And that's the thing. It's like, where do you pretend that people can stop you? Because they really can't stop you. It's not a possibility. Teresa is saying, love that you did not lose your enthusiasm and stayed aware of possibilities. Yeah. I think my silly youth helped me. I mean, it's like, I've gotten punched in the stomach many times. Actually, in fact, I've punched myself in the stomach repeatedly over the last 9 years that I've done Access. And that's okay too, because I still have the enthusiasm. It goes down and it comes up. And it's like whenever I'm doing human reality, it's less. And whenever I'm being me and being crazy and being fun and being alive, it's more. And so I'm so grateful that you guys are on here. It's so funny. You can like see who like leaves the live, but it's like everybody's staying on listening. So I'm really grateful for that. And it's like, but it's just like, what do you know is possible that you haven't yet chosen? And, what if you haven't built your life? It's like, what can you build? What can you have? What can you create? What piece of possibilities are available? And it's like, there's just so much. And I'm so grateful for that. And, and then we can have my Access story part two. I mean, it's not really about my story, but I do want to tell it in hopes that it inspires some of you, young, old, rich, poor. I did it all myself financially too. It's like, my dad said, if you want to do this, you have to pay for it. Because, I mean, it's like it adds up, it's thousands of dollars here and thousands of dollars there and tens of thousands of dollars there. And so I really had to choose to create my business and to create my life. And nobody thought I could do it. I mean, actually, my parents are super cool and they really believe in me. But it's like most people, like, they did not think I could do it. And I think my dad was kind of like, okay. Because it was like this totally undefinable thing. But it's like, how do I put it? It's like, no matter where you are in life, like, I didn't have money, coming into it. I saved my own money. I used my money. I was like a kid and I found ways of making money. And it's like, it was actually those summers working at the golf course. I would save and save and save and spend as little as I possibly could. And when I came to Access, I had money. I still paid my own rent. I still paid for a lot of things. It's not like my parents did that so I could save all the money. They did. They helped me. And my dad paid for my college, bless his soul. And it's like, but I made it happen. And every time that I wanted to go to a class in San Francisco from Canada, or I wanted to go to a class in Italy from Canada, or I wanted to go to Costa Rica from Canada, it's like I made it happen. And I asked the universe to contribute to me, and it did. And that's really what it is. It's like recently, I just bought a very expensive piece of furniture, and I'm like, okay, universe, please help show me the money. And it's like, because I went into, oh my God, how am I going to pay for this really expensive piece of furniture? And I was like, nope, not going there. I'm going to go to, what are the infinite possibilities for paying for this? And when I look back at the last 9 years that I've been in Access, and even before that, because I still did know to ask in some form, but I have gotten everything that I've asked for, and it shows up so subtly and so lightly by the shimmer of the universe that it's like, we don't even notice, but it's there and it creates and it changes things. So just ask. It's like, and I would do things like write down my asks in a journal. Oh my gosh. When I came to Access, I learned this thing about asking. So I made a journal and I would write down everything that I would like to have in that journal. And every day I would write 10 questions. I kid you not, I have everything in that journal except being a billionaire. And I found that journal like 3 years after when I was moving. And I just started crying because I was like, I'm supported. I am really supported. And I think that's why, I've been able to create some of these possibilities that I've created is because I know I'm supported and I'm willing to be supported. I'm willing to be helped. I'm willing to have people contribute to me and have the universe contribute to me. And so I hope that's a takeaway from today. It's like, are you willing to be supported? Are you willing to allow the universe, the great, grand, glorious universe, to support you? So thank you guys so much for being here today. Teresa says, are you going to be adding billionaire now? I did. I asked for billionaire. I'm still working on it. So, what would it take for that to show up fast? So thank you guys so much for coming on here. And I am just blown away by these possibilities. And I hope that you guys get that, by being supported, you will have the things that you've asked for. And so everything that doesn't allow you to be supported, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. You're the best. And we will see you on here again on the next live. Bye.